There you have it, coming out of St James's Park. 3 games, 3 wins, 2 trophies in 24 hours for Newcastle United. That's right, a win, a really good win last night on the Friday night. A win for the women's today against AC Milan, big up to them. And another win for the men's today, a 1-0 win. As I crouch under the trees here, bit of shade on this lovely sunny day. I'm going to talk a little bit about the SELA weekender, SELA Cup, as it was in the end. 2 cups in the end. We had a bit of an advantage, didn't we, because we played 2 games, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was just today's game that counted towards the cup. But anyway, our final chance of some pre-season football before we take on Southampton this time next week. Pretty much exactly, we will have finished our first game of the season, so a great chance for Eddie and the lads to get that a little bit of a run out. I'm going to talk a little bit about the players, going to talk a little bit about the event in itself, and generally speaking, I enjoyed it. I have to say, I think personal experience last night for me, I think, held a little bit more atmosphere. I was stood in the Gallagher yesterday, Friday night, straight from work, a couple of beers in the stadium. Seemed to be a little bit more of a buzz than maybe there was today. I think possibly people who have gone to both maybe might have had a little bit more of a buzz last night than they did today. Plus the fact that it's quite warm as well. I think there was a few a little bit worn out, especially over in the East Stand. I bet people were absolutely boiling over there. And the fact that yesterday's game packed a bit more of a punch in terms of kind of players bringing something to the game today. I thought Harvey Barnes looked good. Bruno had some little spells of magic, but generally speaking, I thought the opposition gave us a better game today, strangely enough, as I thought the Girona game was possibly going to be the tougher fixture. Maybe that was why, for me, we possibly played the likes of Isaac, the likes of Gordon. I think over the weekend, those were the 2 players that stood out for me, actually. I thought, in fairness, Murphy did well. Longstaff scored 2 goals yesterday as well. But generally speaking, I think, bearing in mind that Gordon didn't even have a pre-season, just the quick off the mark and the pace and getting into them. You look at Girona yesterday, I think you wouldn't think they have 1 week until their season starts next weekend as well. They still looked 3 weeks off the pace. Or is that just how fit we actually are and how ready we are for the upcoming season? So yeah, as I say, in terms of the quality on show, I thought it was pretty good. Give a little bit of a buzz going into this season. Today we've got to see a few new players as well. Kelly, the centre-back, played for the first time. Lovely little dinked ball over the top. Him and Shaw at the back, bearing in mind, are obviously 2 centre-backs, both very good football centre-backs. You can see exactly what Kelly can do with that kind of range of passing that he brings, similar to what Shaw does. Kind of dinked ball over the top onto Harvey Barnes, who cuts in a great little finish round the goalkeeper. It's a funny one, isn't it? Because, if it's similar to the right-back position for me, Kieran Trippier is probably the only right back in the league who keeps Livramento out of the side. Gordon, keeping Harvey Barnes out of the side. I do really like that. I like having kind of 2 really well-established players for each position, and it's clear that Newcastle are trying to bring that. It was good to see SELA did put the ball in the back of the net today. It was unfortunate that the goal was offside and it didn't count, but he took it well. He took the ball well. He took the goal well. Got a little bit of a cheer from the Newcastle fans regardless. I think outside that, didn't see loads of it. I think today we didn't have as much of the ball. As I say, yesterday we really blitzed them. I think both teams were strong, but I think when you've got the likes of Isaac and a Gordon in one of the teams, it's just the level's going to be that little bit higher. As I say, Bruno looked good in moments. But possibly could be because he didn't have the same outlets of a Gordon or an Isaac to hit. Still had a Miggy, still had a Barnes and a SELA, but maybe just slightly less than what he's normally used to. But yeah, it was a good weekend. 2 good games of football. And I think it brought probably to the fans what we needed ahead of a season. The stacks just opened. The queues for the club shop were mental. At one point we thought we might pop in, that got cancelled. We thought we might pop into the stack at one point as well. That pretty much got cancelled because of how busy it was. But that's what you want. It's giving people the chance to come down and experience the football when maybe they wouldn't otherwise. Got an ambulance going past here, so I'll just wait a second. Oh, it's lovely now. And a little view of St James's Park as we make our way out of here as well. But having said that, it wasn't full, you know, which I think is a shame. But I possibly think the price point was a little bit high. I mean, I paid £45 for 2 friendlies. There we go. Getting all the content here. The cows are grazing, celebrating. Black and white one there. Yeah, I think maybe the price point was just a touch too high. Big up to the away fans today, by the way. They had a few over. Would it have been better selling it at 10-15 quid and then packing the stadium out? I mean, in terms of Newcastle United, maybe it suits them better, but that's not really the point of it. For me, the friendlies is a chance to get people down who maybe don't always get to the games, a chance to, I guess, promote the pre-season, and having level 7 totally closed off for both games. I mean, we totally packed it out last season. Maybe that was because it was a season going into a Champions League. This time round, maybe the want has wavered slightly. But I mean, for Newcastle, I suppose they've charged twice the price and they've had to look after 20,000 less people in the stadium. So in terms of having to pay wages, staff, bars, maybe it suits Newcastle better that way. But on the whole, I thought it was really good. As I say, the atmosphere was slightly flatter today. Possibly because we didn't score 4 goals in the first 20 minutes. Possibly because it's the second game of 2. Possibly because... And it was actually... Well, yeah, I'm talking about it being the second... It was actually the third game. So possibly by the time people have, you know, have sat and watched the women's, by the time the men's came on, maybe it was a little bit less energy amongst the crowd. But no, for me, it was good. It did what it said on the tin. It gave a lot of players that run out that they needed. I thought the way that Eddie Howe did it as well was actually really good. I was still kind of conscious that we might try and mix the teams up a lot over the 2 days, but really we saw 2 first 11s feature today, which was good. I think the Friday night team had that little bit more spark than the team did today. And if you think a mix of the 2 ready for Saturday against Southampton will hopefully be, like the Friday, a quick, fast team to go and get some goals very fast against Southampton and kick us off to a good start this season. So hope you guys have enjoyed what it was of the videos over this weekend. As always, there'll be plenty coming this week. Who knows, maybe even some signings before the big game a week today. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.